All right, what's going on, my brothers and sisters? Welcome back. I pray y'all are having a wonderful, blessed day. Have had a wonderful, blessed weekend as we give the Most High all the honor, the glory, and all the praise and worship. In this real talk video, I want to just talk about breaking religious rules to reach sinners. Breaking religious rules to reach sinners. This is a bit of response back to you, Mr. Tang. Powerful email that you sent me. You're talking about grace and mercy, and talking about the law. So I want to just sum this up and use our Savior, as a great example. First of all, let's get this right. When you talk about our Savior, he was not religious. He was spiritual. There's a big difference between people when you see people that's religious and you see people that's spiritual. Spiritual people don't act nothing like religious people. Religious people falls and clicks. Religious people always, point fingers at everybody else, just like the Pharisees in the Bible. What we have now is just modern day Pharisees. They're the same way like the ones in the Bible. They stuck on, man-made rules, traditions of men. And the word of the Most High, plain as they teach you that traditions of man makes the word of the Most High void, have no effect. And there's so many people that's like this that's inside of church buildings. That's why so many people keep on leaving, a lot of church buildings because of a lot of this. But we got to understand this too, big brother. You can't just view the Bible as a set of rules. It's too many people I know, they just look at the Bible as a set of rules. They talk about the law and that's it. And that's a big mistake to make because how you going to teach grace and mercy? Let me say it like this the right way. How you going to just teach the law and you can't teach grace and mercy? You know, how you just going to teach the New Testament and don't teach the Old Testament? Most people I know, they do that and they miss out on the whole entire Bible pretty much. They miss out on the real teachings of our Savior. You can't just teach the law and then don't teach grace and mercy. You know. Now the Most High laid out the commandments, but here's the other problem that people don't really clear up and tell others. I'm not talking about everybody's like this, but you have to understand that there was the Most High's commandments, and then there was so many man-made rules. That's why so many people are always saying, well, Jesus went against this and Jesus went against that. Was he really going against his father's will, his father's commandments, or was he going against man's law? See, there was probably about, 2,713 commands in the law of Moses, and that's not even including the 109 commands in Genesis. Them laws had a purpose. But once again, you had man-made laws. Then remember you had the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And them jokers really couldn't stand each other, just to be honest. But they got along, for different reasons. But the Pharisees, they the one that changed Judaism from a religion of sacrifice to a religion of law. That's why with them it was always about the law, the law. They always tried to jam Jesus up with something. We're gonna catch him slipping. He gonna mess up, but he never did mess up. Now to them he messed up because he was breaking their little rules, you know. See, I'm not saying in this video not to live by the commandments. The commandments was good. There was something wrong with us. Live the best way you can by them, but I guarantee you, you're going to mess up somewhere down the line. You know why? Because you are not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect people. But we can perfect what we do, but we are not perfect. Do you think David kept the law all the way? Other than Christ, who could keep the law perfect? According to what David did, he should have been dead. According to you and I, we should have been dead. We shouldn't even have a chance right now to even be breathing, according to what we did. But thanks to the Most High for grace and mercy. That's why you can't, once again, just teach the law and don't reach out to others. That's not even rightly dividing the word if you just once again look at the Bible as a set of rules. So that's why I'm not saying in this video not to live by the commandments. But when you look at the two greatest commandments, which is all about love, you know, you see something totally different, don't you? Because love covers it all. And if you don't have love, you don't have nothing at all. That's why the two greatest covers it. It's all about love, you know. The law, and let's say this, the law don't save you. As a matter of fact, the law show you just how bad we was and we needed a savior. I'm saying was, but still is. It shows us how messed up we was and still is, you know. Because if you broke one law, you pretty much broke all of them. So yeah, like my title says, breaking religious rules to reach sinners, that's what our Savior did. He went against man-made laws. He did. And I'm going to say this off top, because the Most High didn't create religion. Jesus wasn't interested. He wasn't interested in religion. And he was knocking down traditions of men. You know, he fulfilled the law. That's why he said in Matthew, what was that, chapter 5, verse 17, he said, think not that I am come to destroy the law of the prophets. I am not come to destroy them, but to fulfill them. And he fulfilled it. And he did. Something that you and I could never do. Jesus broke religious rules just to heal people. Look at when they got mad at when he broke religious rules. When he went to dinner, he sat down at the table with sinners. And let me know my Savior was a cool dude, man. He was invited to parties where sinners was at. How is it that sinners look like they wanted to be around Christ more than the religious ones? See, this is why if you spiritual like me, I'm not religious, you'll find yourself oftentimes having a big problem with religious people because they don't like you. You don't fit in. You go against pretty much everything they teaching and following behind, don't you? When you look at religious people and you put a religious person and a spiritual person in the same room, it's conflict. But see, I'm reminded of what the Most High showed us. Because he said, for God said, I send not my son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. That's why he came for lost. That's why he went where the sinners was at. And you ever noticed this? Our Savior stayed more on the outside of the synagogues. Let me fast forward into our days time. He stayed outside of the church more than he was inside of the church business. Yeah, he taught in the synagogues, but the majority of his ministry, he was more effective, on the outside of the building. Because it was just too many rules, too much religion, too many Pharisees, too many man-made laws. And when it's like that, you might as well keep moving to people that's going to accept it. So where Christ was rejected, he was accepted. He went where he was accepted. And that was mostly the sinners that he was able to reach, the ones he healed, the ones he delivered. Most of that, once again, wasn't inside no building. Now, I'm not saying that to knock a church building. I'm just saying that's the truth. Because people put so much emphasis on the building, they don't put the emphasis on Christ like that. And it's sad, y'all. But think about on quite a few of the Sabbaths. Jesus chose to heal several people that were sick. They were suffering. And he did that on the day that they was mad at. They hated that. Because the Jewish law, it didn't let people receive help like that on the Sabbath. The religious ones said in John 9, I believe, oh, Jesus broke the Sabbath law. Remember when he healed that blind man? And then what was that? Luke 13, he healed that crippled woman. All he breaking is several Sabbath laws. One thing I like is that our Savior did whatever he had to do. He didn't care what day it was to reach people. And I love how he let people come up to him the way they was. It could have been a prostitute. It could have been somebody drunk. It could have been whatever. And he let them come just as they was and would talk so simple and say something like, do you believe you can be saved? Do you believe you can be healed? See, nowadays, so many people are so busy jamming laws up in people's face, they don't even tell people about Christ. Or you going to hell because you got tattoos. You going to hell because of this. You going to hell because of that. Don't wear that hat to church. Don't do this. I'm so glad that our Father recognized us by our faith. See, the Most High law is so different to man's law. See, when you look at man's law, teach Holy Spirit, man's law is limited to what can be proven. But the Most High, he know what? Our heart. When you look at man's law, man, them laws can change anytime. They can change from one day to the next. But when you look at the Most High law, it's unchanging. The Most High laws are way higher than man laws could ever think about being. But I'll close with this. Nowadays, look at all this tradition. Look at all this religion. Look at all this stuff that's out that have nothing to do with salvation at all. When you look at most church buildings, you got a set of rules. Where such and such name is on this pew. You can't sit on this pew. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't wear this. You can't wear that. It's like I was saying a minute ago. Oh, you got tattoos on you. They look at your outer appearance and already make a judgment on you. And if you don't look right, some of these churches won't even let you in their church. Rules on top of rules. I'm saying it to say this. You look at all this, and then look at how Jesus was. He wasn't nothing like that. You see what I'm saying? Just like me with this hat on, somebody gonna say something. Well, you talking about the Lord, man. You need to take that hat off. The Bible said that. What does this have to do with anything? That's why I'm a different kind of preacher. I don't have to have on fancy suits. I don't even need no building. I don't even need a whole lot of stuff that people, we gotta have this, we gotta have that, not me. Because the message is so simple. It's so plain. People make coming to Christ so hard when it's so plain, y'all. Sad. But once again, use our Savior for an example. And don't be religious. Be spiritual. Because a lot of people that I know that's religious, they'll tell me, man, if I don't stay religious like this, I don't think I'll make heaven. Well, I tell them in a heartbeat, you do what you got to do so you can reach heaven. If that's what you feel, you got to be religious. Well, don't knock me from being spiritual, because I'm going to be spiritual. That's why I'm not worried about if this person cussing, or if this man over here drunk, this dude shooting dope up his arm, she a prostitute, she a hoe, he a homosexual. Don't none of that matter to me, because my job is to reach you, spread the message, pray for you, get out the way. I don't do the saving. I don't. I just do the message. I'm just the messenger. I'm not the enforcer. I can't get you into heaven. You got to fight for your own salvation. So, y'all, that's my time. With that being said, I love you. And thank you for tuning in. Until the next time, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day.